With Alonso's shocking plan to join Aston Martin for the 2023 season, Alpine find themselves in a crisis. How will Alpine manage to come out of this lineup disaster? Is there a way out for them? Let's examine the sticky situation Alpine have got themselves into and what they might do to fix things before the next season. It's been nothing but trouble for Alpine over the summer break. The French racing team is now in a bind because they don't have anyone to pair with Esteban Ocon next season, even though they've been looking for a new driver. Given recent events and the FIA's decisions on the ongoing driver problem, there doesn't seem to be a way out for the Enstone-based team in their relentless search for a talented driver for the 2023 season. The FIA has finally spoken on the Alpine Piastri-McLaren crisis during the 2022 summer vacation, and the outlook doesn't seem too bright for Alpine. Previously, Alpine team principal Otmar Safnauer said that the French squad had a 90% probability of taking McLaren to court over the driver they've invested so much in, yet are going to give away for free. In response to Alpine's commitment to challenging the legality of the pre-contract between Piastri and McLaren, the president of the governing body of Formula One, Mohammed Ben Salem, has declared that the matter would be best solved with the FIA's internal institutions. Let's take a look at what the FIA said. The FIA's Driver Contract Recognition Board (CRB) was set up to deal with contract priority issues between drivers and F1 teams. That's why we rely on their decision to resolve any conflict. The president of the FIA has made it clear that the organization's decision on the contract dispute will be final and binding. If the decision goes against Alpine, the team will need to find a replacement as soon as possible, and their plans to do so appear to be collapsing. If there was ever a nightmare for F1 teams, Alpine's living it. As a result of these developments, Alpine has actively sought replacement drivers, with Safnauer admitting he is considering at least 14 candidates to fill the seat Piastri has refused. There aren't many talented and experienced drivers available in the market who could be signed by Alpine, and it appears that one of the drivers at the top of Alpine's list is unlikely to sign with them for the next season. After being demoted from the Red Bull team to Toro Rosso, which in 2019 was rebranded as AlphaTauri, French driver Pierre Gasly has been impressive, revitalizing himself and the Austrian racing team with 3 podium finishes and a win at the 2020 Italian Grand Prix. However, it appears that Gasly will not have the chance to rejoin Red Bull and team up with Max Verstappen. Unfortunately for the French driver, Sergio Perez renewed his contract with Red Bull until 2024. Gasly's contract with AlphaTauri expires after the 2023 season, and he has been heavily favored to take over the Alpine seat for the following season. However, recent developments have dashed Alpine's hopes of signing the Frenchman, as it was revealed that Gasly's contract with AlphaTauri does not have an exit clause, and that Red Bull would have the final say on whether Gasly could move to Alpine. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko said in a reference to the situation, "There is no exit clause for Gasly. There was none before the summer break, and there will be none after the summer break." These thoughts were echoed by Red Bull team principal Christian Horner, who believes that this wasn't the right time to bring back Gasly into Red Bull racing, and that the French driver is still party to a contract with Red Bull. Franz Tost further added, "It makes no sense for Red Bull to let Pierre go. If a Red Bull driver fails, there is no other adequate driver who can step in. Only Gasly can do that." Given Gasly's situation with his Red Bull contract, Alpine's search to complete their driver lineup for next season isn't over. Another contender for the seat is everyone's favorite honey badger, Daniel Ricciardo. The Australian driver has shared some glorious moments with Renault previously and might get a chance to drive for a Renault engine once again. Of course, Ricciardo doesn't have an easy way out of McLaren either. Piastri's sudden signing with McLaren meant that Ricciardo would no longer have a seat with the team next season. Even though he's McLaren's only race winner for the last couple of years, Ricciardo seems to be having a hard time keeping up with the new car. His performance hasn't been optimal this season, given that he's repeatedly been out-qualified by his younger teammate Lando Norris over the course of the 2022 season. Despite this, Ricciardo has a lot to prove, and Alpine might just be the answer he's been looking for. The Australian driver has asked for an exit payment of $21 million. However, McLaren may just decide to pay him not to drive next season instead. The situation seems unclear for Ricciardo at the moment. However, it seems increasingly likely that he might join Alpine next season and become a Renault boy once again. If Ricciardo doesn't move to Alpine next season, the French team's options become much more limited. Every team that wants to contend for podiums, wins and titles needs an experienced lineup. Teams rarely take a chance with junior drivers without rigorously testing them earlier on. If Alpine goes forward with promoting their junior drivers in F1 at this stage, it's going to be incredibly challenging for them. While there are undoubtedly talented junior drivers at Alpine's academy, they simply cannot fill the void of a seasoned veteran. A possible junior candidate is Jack Doohan, an Australian driver who finished second in Formula 3 last season and is now a rookie in Formula 2. He's won 2 races this season and is one of the best F2 drivers and Alpine Academy drivers. Doohan has additionally taken 2 test drives in Alpine machinery, and while he certainly has incredible potential, it's still a risky bet for Alpine. Like many other junior drivers, Doohan is also prone to errors, which could hurt Alpine's budget given the FIA's budget cap. Nonetheless, Jack Doohan is a relentless driver who stops at no length when it comes to winning a race. An example of this was his burning passion to win despite team orders in the F3 season finale. Another interesting candidate from Alpine's junior academy is 21-year-old Victor Martins, who's already well established at the academy and could prove to be a viable option in the future. When talking about junior drivers, we can't forget another notable name with decent F1 experience, Mick Schumacher. Mick's contract with Haas ends this season, and it may pave the way for him to eventually join Alpine. However, despite his performances, he has an incredibly long way to go. Despite 46 starts in F1, Mick has only been able to score points twice, statistics that Alpine probably wouldn't be too happy to hear. To add salt to the wounds, Schumacher has already crashed out twice this season, costing Haas around $2 million. Compared to the likes of Daniel Ricciardo or Pierre Gasly, Mick Schumacher does not seem as much of a contender for the Alpine seat, given his relative inexperience. His father's legacy may not entirely be enough for now, even though investing in a Schumacher could be an excellent decision for Alpine in the long run. This troubling situation for Alpine has not been easy for the team. In fact, team principal Ottmar Fafner says he wouldn't be surprised if this was all a plot against his team. Look, I have no record of information being shared, but this is Formula 1, and maybe in a couple of years someone says that they have evidence of shared information. I wouldn't be surprised. I always tell everyone that in Formula 1, you have to act as if everyone knows everything, and there are no secrets in these things. When you ask someone not to say anything, they act like everyone knows. That's how I've run my business in Formula 1 for 25 years, and if this, sharing information, has happened, you should not be surprised. There seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel for Alpine as it currently stands. The French team have found themselves in a mess and are eagerly looking for a way to get themselves out of it. Will Alpine settle for junior academy drivers, or will they manage to sign a seasoned driver for their 2023 lineup? As the end of the 2022 season draws closer, we can only hope that Alpine manages to find exactly what they are looking for.